And we'll get to it, but
we'll get to that in a second after Robin said Bruno.
Okay, let's go to Rob.
Yeah, we'll go to Robin said Bruno because I agree with Kenny Smith.
Well, that's where I was going to go with all this.
I was like, Kenny's right.
Yeah.
Kenny's right. Robin said Bruno, what's up?
First off, I want to say this. I want to say this first. Shout out to Adam Peters for seeing the vision. You know what I mean? Seeing the future. You know, he got him a brother at quarterback, and look at what they're doing. With a bad roster, but that's another day. But anyway, Steve Kerr, look, the offense was designed for Steph and Clay. I don't think no other player want to come to the Warriors because they don't want to be playing in that system. You know what I'm saying? The players nowadays want to play free and use their ability. Little Kuminga, he's not being able to use his ability because y'all still want to play Draymond Green. So for the Warriors, I think it's time to let Kerr go. I think he won his rings, but you need a guy who can build the youth, develop the youth, and for the next chapter in Warriors basketball. Because honestly, these young NBA players don't want to play 40 and over basketball. They're not trying to run, shoot threes all day, set a pick. Nah, that's not what they're doing. They're trying to get up the floor and use their athletic ability and entertain the fans. The Warriors is playing their style of ball, but I gotta disagree with y'all. I'm putting this on Kerr because Kerr had opportunities to develop Wiseman. He chose not to. Wiseman can hit a pick and pop jumper. Wiseman can go down the lane and dunk. I mean, Wiseman and Hakeem Olajuwon, but in this era, he can get you if you pay him 25 minutes a night, he's gonna get you 12 and 10 a night, 12 and 8, easy, just off dunks and mid-range jumpers. But Kerr didn't want that when he did have them. So not having the right big is not an excuse for Kerr. That's what he likes. So at the end of the day, it's over. The Warriors had to run, and I just think they need to go a different direction because I don't think players with the taxes that go on out here, I don't think players, this is not a place where they really want to go because they know they won't be able to do what they need to play every game. They got to play.
Rob, let me boil this down. And do you agree with me on this? At the end of the day, if a lot of things are equal, because the way the NBA is, like a lot of the max deals are, guys want to have fun and win. And right now, this is not a place. Right now, it doesn't feel like a place where people can have a lot of fun and win.
Well, no, because these which Steph, Clay, and them boys did was win these championships. Now all the fans and the organization think, we got to win the championship. Now there's no fun in watching the games no more. It used to be fun just seeing the Warriors develop and watch the games. Now all fans think about, we got to win the championship.
Mm-hmm.
We a championship. No, you're not a championship team.
Exactly.
So until fans get that into their head, and then like I said, Kerr a good coach, but for this particular team, they need a Mark Jackson type to build it up. And if you want to circle back to Steve Kerr when they get right, do that. But you need somebody who can build these youngsters up. Just like Kerr, Mark built up Clay, built up Steph. You know what I'm saying? And it's the same thing. So I don't think Kerr that type of coach, to be honest with you.
And also, here's the thing, though.
The downfall is near, and it's coming hard.
It is coming hard. As you're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HG1, San Francisco and Odyssey Sports Station, always live on the free Odyssey app. One thing, everybody is pinpointing, like, boy, why did the Warriors keep selling for threes yesterday against Boston? Why do they keep chucking up threes? The answer is simple. Outside of Stephen Curry, who can blow by their man and penetrate and kick? You know what I'm saying?
No, so maybe Schroeder.
Right, maybe Schroeder sometimes.
Yeah, Schroeder.
But he holds onto the ball so damn long, and the ball sticks in his hands. And this fit with the Schroeder, God bless his soul. His family just came back to the Bay not too long ago.
I'm rooting for him.
He's happy, but I knew this would be an uphill battle for him playing in this system where he's going from heavy pick and roll with the Brooklyn Nets, having the ball in his heads, and going to the rack, to now playing 0.5 basketball to where you got to make decisions left and right. And you're not touching the ball as much as you want. You've got nobody really who can take their man off the dribble. And that's why it hurt watching Jordan Poole do what he did Saturday. It was like, damn, Jordan Poole could do that. We knew he could do that. I know. What the heck? What's going on here? But you mentioned Kenny Smith sound because we're both on it. I'm watching it at halftime. I'm like, wow, Kenny's on it. And obviously the internet didn't care to hear it. Even though Kenny Smith's a two-time NBA champion, played with Hakeem Olajuwon, has been around the game for a long, long time, was a parade All-American in North Carolina, high school All-American.
Well, if you were just to say, who is a reasonable, smart basketball mind who watches everything and has good perspective?
Kenny Smith.
He's like the last guy I think of, especially in the NBA landscape where everyone's throwing out hot takes.
Right.
Like
Kenny
he's pretty reasonable.
We've had Kenny on the show multiple times. Yeah, no, I love Kenny.
I always learn when I watch him.
I love Kenny. But, irrational fans will disagree. Here's what KD had to say about the Warriors and the Lakers possibly rebuilding.
I want to talk about the rebuild.
Which rebuild?
With Golden State. And they're in a similar situation as what the Lakers are in, but much different in the same results. When you're rebuilding around LeBron James, and you say, hey, he's later in his years, he's maybe not the same player, but he's still a great player, or one of the top players in the league. LeBron James plays with the ball in his hand. So you have to build the team that actually fits in. So you're going to bring in older players. I think with Steph Curry, he actually plays without the ball a lot, and he's running off picks. So now you can bring in and say, we're going to do a young rebuild with young energy to get him shots easier because he's shooting more instead of beating people off the dribble. So the rebuild is different. They should go young through the draft, through trade, keep guys like Kuminga, not think about trading. Guys like Kuminga and his age, that group is where they need to be. Where the Lakers, they need to get older players at times to go with LeBron because LeBron handles the ball.
I mean,
astute point right there. Young energy, fresh legs. You see Kuminga and Curry working on the pick and roll, man. It started working.
Especially in fourth quarters.
Fourth quarters where Kuminga can get downhill and use his explosiveness to get to the rim. That's what they're missing right now. They are an older team. I don't care what anybody says. They got the second oldest team in the league. And you look at the roster, and everybody can say, well, Steph's 36 and Dre's 34. Well, Dre's got a lot of miles, and he's got a left calf strain right now. He's going to be out for at least the next week.
He's been banging with people 60 to 100 pounds heavier than him and 5 to 8 inches taller.
For a decade.
Of course he was going to break down.
The body's breaking down. All right? GP2's 32.
And his body's always, we love GP2, but let's call it what it is. He's often injured.
He's often injured.
He plays a rugged style of basketball.
Excuse me, GP's 32. And he's a small who plays big.
Exactly.
Buddy Hield's 32 years old. 32.
Gosh, that is surprising.
Been in the league a long time. All right? Dennis Schroeder's 31. A lot of miles there.
Decade in the league.
Kyle Anderson, 31.
Decade in the league.
This is stinking from the head up.
Andrew Wiggins, 29. Been in this league since he left his freshman year out of Kansas. Kevon Looney, 28. Had multiple hip injuries, but he looks good.
Decade in the league, though.
But Pat Spencer's learning how to play NBA basketball. He's 28.
Pat Spencer.
Lyndon Waters a third, 27.
Quentin Post, who played yesterday, isn't he like 25?
24.
24. He got a block, though.
He did get a block. Had a career eye yesterday.
I thought he looked good. Well, I mean, yeah. I was he only played like 2 games prior.
Right, yeah, I know.
So everything's a career high.
I know. I just had to get it out there.
It's like us when we started. We started from 0 audience. We're the fastest growing show in America.
888-957-9570 is the number. We got Baldy coming up at 7:30 as we'll get back into the playoffs. We'll talk some national championships. And we'll play this Kenny Smith sound more today because I want to know if people agree with Kenny Smith. I already saw somebody on the 559. Kenny is wrong. He's wrong. Okay. All right. Well, why is he wrong? Call us. 888-957-9570. But, some people think it's karma. And Jordan Poole coming to town Saturday. But some of the fans who are doing all the crying and doing all the complaining and doing all the bitching and moaning are the same fans who wanted KD out of here. He's one of the greatest players we've ever seen. And now, here it is 5 years later, and you're begging for a superstar. You're begging. You had one.
No, you're begging
ran him off because
you're begging for a malcontent. Not because Jimmy Butler. I just put a list together. I'm going to use Jimmy Butler as an example. I put a list together. He didn't even make my list of quote unquote stars. Like, I guess he's going to go to the Hall of Fame, but is he a superstar?
Not to me.
If I said Jimmy Butler to my wife, she'd be like, who? She wouldn't know who he is.
She might.
I don't know.
She might.
I'm not trying to dismiss him. He's a very good player. But, like, superstar? That's not a superstar.
Well, what's funny is I see this text, and 559 says...
Kevin Durant is a superstar.
Yeah, this guy, 559, says the Knicks didn't go young. Well, Karl-Anthony Towns is in his prime at 29 years old. Mikal Bridges is in his prime at 28 years old. Jalen Brunson's in his prime at 28 years old. OG Anunoby is 27. 27. Landry Shamet's been around the league, but he's only 27.
God, I feel like they've got one player
They've got one player right now who's 30, and that's Cam Payne, backup point guard.
Yeah.
You look at Boston, their core, Tatum and Brown, what's their ages?
Like 28.
28, 27, 26, athletic primes. The Warriors don't have that right now. They don't. And you can see it on the floor, even when they play Toronto or Washington. Just look at the athletic advantages those other teams have. It's night and day. Night and day.
Kenny's basically saying, like, you need to go young and you got to commit to that. And I agree with it. And I know it's the hard thing to do is accept the reality, right? It's to accept the reality of where you're at. You're not a championship contender. And the one or two players that you have that is in that window, as in Andrew Wiggins, like, he's a really good and useful player, but he's not a number 2 on a nightly basis for an 82-game season, who at times can be a 1. Like, you talk about Tatum and Brown. Any given night, one of them's going for 35.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Porzingis, when he's healthy, he could go for 30 any night. Drew Holiday, though older, like, he's a solid player and one of the best perimeter defenders in the game. Then they have Hauser and Pritchard and all of these ancillary pieces that fit perfectly.
Yep.
Right? They're all ready to contribute because they know exactly what their role is. You know, Pritchard knows what he is.
Yep. And he's averaging over 14 off the bench.
Well, he's a scrappy good player.
Hell of a season.
I mean, if I was Podziemski, I'd be looking at Peyton Pritchard and saying, like, that's the role I would try to embrace.
There it is. 559, go get talent. We can draft. Well, you think they're not trying to get talent? You think it's just so, hey, let me just dial up the number in New Orleans and go, send me Zion and Brandon Ingram. Like,
and here's Podziemski.
I'm telling you, Grant Liffman told me this. I don't know if it was supposed to be off the record. Maybe it was. But he said the one thing he's learned working in the Atlanta Hawks front office, Grant Liffman, formerly of the Warriors Outsiders, he goes, I cannot believe how hard it is to make a trade. Because we do the NBA 2K stuff and fantasy basketball. We're like, oh, yeah, cool. But he goes, they had a player that they were trying to get for a season and a half. They finally got him, but he was like, it is extremely difficult to try to get two sides to come together. This is Grant Liffman. So if you don't want to believe Joe Lacob saying trades are hard, Grant Liffman works in the front office of the Hawks. It's like, Bonte, I did not realize how hard it was to make trades in this league.
Trades are hard.
It is. It is. It is what it is. You got to have the right pieces. You got to have the right picks. You got to have the right formula. It's not that easy, folks. You could think it's easy because another team just made a trade, but they may have had better assets than you. That's a possibility.
Well, someone's got to want what you have.
Because that's the thing that I keep going back to. All these fans want to trade for a star, but the players on your team, you disrespect left and right, say they suck. So what do you think you're going to get for them if they suck? How
many trades in all your fantasy leagues? How many trades? A couple?
2, maybe 3.
In all your leagues?
If that.
Come on. It's hard.